Now, one thing I'm not a fan of is bare bottom tanks, only because they just seem to look unfinished. We've got some gravel here that we're going to give a wash and put into the tank. It'll just make the tank look a lot more finished and a lot more natural. The tank's now got very good surface agitation, because surface agitation is key for getting oxygen into the water. Now, what we're just going to discuss now is the 3 things that I want to make sure that you put in the water every time you do a water change. Number 1 is every time new water goes in the tank, I want to add some water ager. That's going to take the chlorine and so forth out of the water. The second thing I want to add is some KH buffer, especially for fish like cichlids. They like a very high KH of about 8. Most standard tropical fish are happy with about 4. We're also going to put in a GH salt, which is going to raise our general hardness. Now, that's going to help immune system. It's going to help body slime. It's a lot of benefits. At the moment, these fish really need that too. You can see they're swimming on the spot there, and the fish are doing a bit of flicking and scratching, which just means that they have been in a stressful circumstance. So I've already put in a dose of white spot cure, but I would continue the white spot cure as instructions until the fish look more comfortable in the water and are not doing any flicking and scratching. The temperature is also coming up now. It's 24, whereas at one stage it was 21. So an extra heat has gone in, and we just pay some attention to temperature, and then they'll be very happy about that. The next thing I would do is I'd give it a good 2 weeks. Once everything's settled down, once I'm happy with all the levels, because we can easily test pH, KH, GH to give suggestions on how much of this needs to go in, because it isn't something that we'll just add it in one go and necessarily get the level up where we want it. Then a good 2 weeks after I'm happy with everything, the next thing I would do is look at putting some more fish in the tank. Because fish like cichlids, they love to be busy. And in a circumstance like this, where they're not busy, over time, you'll find that they can be a little bit more aggressive. And that's because they don't feel as comfortable when there's not many around, and that will tend to increase their aggression. So with this good new water flow, good new water quality, and this good new food, because we're going to start feeding probiotics now. Once again, fish keeping is 50% water quality and 50% nutrition. If you get the nutrition right, you're halfway there. And give this tank a month or so and it should start really shining. Also, adding some catfish would be a good idea, some scavengers and some algae eaters to control the algae. It'll be looking great.